All right, kids, I hope you enjoyed yesterday's lesson that featured the different air masses around the world. And today we are going to come back and talk a little bit more about sea breezes and land breezes. Now, sea breezes and land breezes, I think, can be summarized extremely simply by saying they are convection cells. And if you've been paying attention, understanding what's happening during these convection cells is going to be extremely easy because it's going to look just like what happened the other day in that big giant graphic that we drew during our lessons that talked about what happens when the sun heats up the earth. So let's take a little bit of a look at this. Now we know the sun is sending down heat through radiation. And what happens during the day at the beach? Well, you all know that if you don't get to the beach kind of early and you get there around lunchtime and you try to walk across the sand, if you don't have sandals on, you are not walking. You are running because the sand is hot. And as the land is heating up during the day, some very, very important things start to take place. And the first thing is as the land starts to heat up, the air above it also starts to gain heat. And we have, maybe if I can draw it here, there we go, hot air that starts to rise from above the ground. Now, when this hot air rises above the ground, it creates a low pressure here because all of the air molecules are going up in the air. There's less air down at the ground, so it causes a low pressure. During the day, we have something pretty cool going on over here at the ocean, literally cool. We have some cold air because it's cooler over here that's sinking. And that air is moving down above the ocean. And what that happens to cause as the air is pushing down over the ocean is a, high pressure. If I can spell today, that'd be great. Now, we've learned that when you have this happen, and there's two different pressures, air moves from high pressure to low pressure. And when you have air moving horizontally, we call it wind or a breeze. And this air moving, this wind moving from the ocean to the land, from the sea to the land is called a sea breeze. Literally, that's all that happens. The land is heated up. The air at the land goes up into the atmosphere. And then over on this side, we have cooler air coming down. And that's important because it causes a high pressure here. We have learned that if there's a high pressure here and a low pressure here, that air moves from the high pressure to the low pressure in something that we call a sea breeze. Now, there's one more thing I need you to think about as this goes on. It takes little time for the land to release the heat that it stores up, especially during the day and as we move into the nighttime. The ocean, however, spends pretty much the entire day absorbing heat. All day, just absorbing heat, absorbing heat. It reflects some, but it absorbs a lot of heat as well. So there's something very, very different that occurs as we move into the nighttime. Now, at nighttime, if you've ever been back to the exact same spot at the beach that you were during the day, your feet would tell you a very different story. You would even be saying, holy cow, this sand is freezing. How is it such a different temperature now than it was earlier? And the big answer to that is because the land loses its heat very quickly. And the ocean temperature is going to be a little bit warmer. And because the air over the ocean is a little bit warmer, we have hot air rising. And as we've learned, when hot air rises, that creates a low pressure. Now, because the air over the land is cooler, I have cooler air sinking, which is what cold air does. And we learned why, because it has more density, and that creates a high pressure. Now, again, I'm starting to see two things. I see high pressure, if Mr. Bowens can spell correctly again, high pressure and low pressure, and I know that air moves from a high pressure to a low pressure, and that is a horizontal movement of wind. This wind, or this breeze, is moving from the land to the sea. So they label this one as a land breeze. Sea breeze, land breeze. Not very difficult, especially if you understood the lesson that we taught the other day. And I think those slides are back here. If you look at this, if you remember this, right? This convection cell that we see all across the earth due to the uneven heating of the earth's surface, this is essentially what's going on here and here. But you can see that the highs and the lows are moving due to the fact that the sun heats the earth differently during the day, and if it's at nighttime, it's not heating the earth, and the earth is heated differently, and there are different areas and zones of high pressure and low pressure. So I have sea breeze during the day, and I have land breeze during the evening. Hope this all makes sense. A pretty quick video, too. That's pretty awesome. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe. If you have any questions, make sure you send those to me in an email or on Google Classroom, and I'll be sure to answer those for you. And we will see you again when we have our next video.